Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Wait, pop.
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you. Perfect play, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Oye, agárrate y que estamos a fuego y sigue extinguidor. We are Long Live Boxing en vivo podcast. Como siempre, Manny Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Yeah.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be.
Como debe de ser.
Another podcast
In
on the
your
way.
mouth
Number
and tu boca.
92 in the house. We're pretty excited to be back in the studio.
Crawling to 100.
100. Here
We'll
we
get
come.
there.
Slowly but
People
surely.
didn't believe us. They
I
didn't believe in us.
I didn't-
Gringo didn't believe in us.
I didn't.
Half man, half disappointment.
That's what they say.
I'm not disappointed right now, though.
Well, you are disappointed. Someone's disappointed on our next topic. We got a lot of topics. 3 podcasts we're going to get to you live here from NZ Studio in Dallas.
It's a special night
and
in
it's sponsored
Dallas.
by you
Special.
fans. You fans
Sponsored
that
by you
always
fans.
continue to support us. I know we kind of out of the loop here, there. We got a lot of contact that we're trying to throw through our social medias. Thank you so much for liking, sharing. I'm not going to go through all that spiel. Just keep in mind, you can download, upload our podcast anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. That's it. Pick and choose. We're there. 3
We're
locals,
there. Just
amigos.
find this Long Live Boxing. It's a special night, though, because
It is.
for us men, the ladies aren't going to like it, but football is back.
Woo!
But so are
Hall
we.
of Fame game.
Woo! We're back,
Man,
baby.
Does that mean-
Reunited, and it's
Double your
so
pleasure, double your
good.
fun.
So does that mean another season of disappointment with the cowgirls?
I'm
or-
prepared for it.
Are
I'm
you
prepared for some heartbreak. Yeah, it's
It's
part of
been
it.
what,
It's
21
part of being a
years,
fan. At
and I
this
think I
point,
forgot.
you're kind of numb to it.
Right.
You
We're
ex-
used
you
to it.
expect it.
I mean,
I'd
the
be
90s were
surprised if we
great.
actually win the damn Super Bowl or actually win a freaking playoff game. But anyways, I digress.
All right, let's.
Disappointment about. Talk to me about it, Sean. You talked about
About
people are
disappointment?
disappointing on certain things.
The expert in disappointment.
Okay, well, yeah, I am the expert on
Gringo.
disappointment, the
You think so?
official, unofficial, disappointed person.
Unofficial Bevo.
Hey, all right. So I want to talk about disappointment happened when the undisputed fight for
All the belts.
all the belts
All
in
the
heavyweight
belts.
division that was going to happen. I thought,
Fell apart.
And it used to be the best division ever,
man, we overhyped that division,
didn't we?
Whoa.
You had the Lee Frazier. You had that era that it was unstoppable. It's just
Man, we overhyped.
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Back then. But
back
now,
then.
No,
that's what I'm
now
saying.
he's talking about now.
I'm
Gringo's
talking about
talking
I know
now.
now, but we're trying to get there, and it's
And-
not happening.
No, well, that's the thing I want to
Same
talk
old
about.
boxing bullshit.
Boxing's going to do what boxing does. Speaking of which, so now since that fight fell apart, and we're talking about Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua,
AJ.
and it seemed like it was a done deal. A lot of
thought
people
so.
out there, not myself, even though I am half disappointment, I really thought that fight was going to happen. Call me a dreamer. And so when it didn't happen, I'm thinking, oh, great, and that led to which looked like a formidable opponent for Tyson Fury in a third matchup with, Deontay Wilder. I know a lot of people want that. Some don't want that fight, but at the end of the day, you do want the best fighting the best, or at least the people that are in the top of that division, if nothing else. So you had that. But that left a dancing partner needed for Mr. Anthony Joshua, which leads us to our conversation today. He had the WO mandatory, which is who?
Oleksandr Usyk.
Usyk. We all sick together.
Former
You sounded
unified
excited about that
cruiserweight
one.
champion.
No, I am excited.
Winner of the WBSS.
Former undisputed
Gold medalist.
cruiserweight.
I mean,
Fantastic technical
World champion of the
boxer.
world.
yeah, I mean,
Great.
unbelievable, right?
Not a lot of punching power, but very technical.
Very technical. That's a good word.
Yeah.
So technically, we should be excited, right? But
I am.
Are you?
I am.
I would say one of us three is.
oh man, oh baby. So let's go ahead and get to it. Don't waste no more time. So I'll go ahead and pass it to my brother Manny because he's
the one that's hyping this fight up.
this man
He's
is
the
ready
one
for this
that
fight.
Wants to invite us over for a cookout, have a watch party.
Finally.
Joshua and Usyk.
Can we make it happen? I
And
mean,
we're like, for this fight? Really?
I'm
This
I'm
fight?
not the guy that's going to Destin and forget about boxing this weekend.
I leave tomorrow at 6 in the morning.
But hey, listen, guys, listen to these boxing fans. They're dying to see some action in the ring. You know, I mean,
Yes.
the welterweights are not making it happen. Yeah, thank God that still Pacquiao and EJ, Errol Spence Jr. It's going to happen.
Please don't
some
fall
other
apart.
ones are not happening, and we want to see this fight. We want to see fights. We really wanted to see Tyson Fury and AJ. That's the number one choice. But hey, we got a soap opera out there like General Hospital never ends. So that soap opera gets to the other side, and they're going to continue on with that fiasco over there. But on the meantime, fans, you're about to see something, I said pretty good here. I'm excited about it. Why? Because we're seeing the heavyweights fight. We're seeing Anthony Joshua fight. Those of you who are fans of Anthony Joshua, I mean, hey, this is an opportunity to continue to see what he can prove, right? We got a couple of great fights against Andy Ruiz. One loss. He came back pretty strong. And then what are we going to see now from him? And guess what? We got an exciting boxer, former undisputed at the cruiserweight, undefeated, something that to look forward to. I mean, honestly, hopefully it's not a pay-per-view. If it's a pay-per-view, it's not. The Zone, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't have the Zone, then you have, then you're screwed.
So yeah, the Zone in the U.S. and then Skybox in the U.K.
Exactly.
Shout out to
So
Anthony Joshua has that exclusive deal with him.
exactly. But here's the deal. We have action at the heavyweights. And those of you who don't believe in Anthony Joshua, this is another opportunity to see and say, hey, he's going to a very technical, we talked about a boxer in Usyk, and I think there's a lot in stake. A former undisputed, right? Technical boxer, very good. I get it. I get it when we talk about 2 fights at the heavyweight division. Fought Chaz Witherspoon. He knocked him out. And let me tell you something. So those of you that don't know about Witherspoon, I mean, he had beat some of the great boxers, some of the great contenders and boxers at the heavyweight division, and then Derek Chisora. People thought that the Derek Chisora fight was a flaw that he don't belong in the heavyweights, but no. I mean, think about it. Chisora is a good boxer. He has fought some of the great, also swell heavyweights in that division. He did beat David Price, and that was like a 4th round knockout. That's when we won the WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight title, right? That gives him at least something to value for and to look for. Also, as well, he had an opportunity to fight Joseph Parker, got him to a split decision. Okay, but listen, Usyk, when you fight a good boxer at that division, that doesn't mean that you're going to come in what you did in the past. He doesn't have a lot of power, but does he belong right now at the heavyweights? I think he does. At the 3rd fight on the heavyweights, and he's going to go for all the marbles, this is something big to look for. And I tell you what, if Usyk comes out as, he's not going to be the favorite, but if he comes out winning this fight, this is huge. This is history. So I kind of want to see that. I don't know about you guys. I really want to see the opportunity for someone that's just moving up. And listen, a lot of these champions, undisputed champions, when they move up in weight, they immediately go out there and challenge. The heavyweight's a little bit different. 2 fights. The 3rd fight, he's going to go for all the belts. This is something pretty good. Even if it's only 1 belt on the line, it's good to watch. But you have a lot of things in this fight. You got the undefeated, undisputed guy moving up and going for all the belts, becoming unified at the heavyweight. Sign me up.
Okay. No, I mean, hey, you had a nice argument at the end. You waved at me. I mean,
Sign me
bravo,
up.
sir.
Sign me
I gotta
up.
give you
Why
an
not?
applause in
I
that.
mean, I'm going to have a few drinks. I'm going to enjoy the night. It's another night of
A few
boxing.
gummies.
And it's not a big
Whoa.
pay-per-view. Whoa.
Hello. Did someone catch that?
EnVivo.
All right, so
Hopper.
Hopper, do you feel the same way, sir?
Not one bit.
Whoa.
And I hate to be, well, actually, I don't hate to be the guy that disagrees with you, Manny. I actually get a kick
Throw
out
it,
of that.
man.
I get
Throw
a
it.
kick out of that. Now,
Bring the
I
hammer.
like it. I like it.
no, I mean, I guess, your point, yes, we have boxing in the heavyweight division. Yes, we get to see Anthony Joshua. Yes, we get to see Usyk. I mean, it's great. I'm all for it. I'm definitely going to be watching it. The only thing, though, is that I feel I feel like it's a bit of a mismatch You mentioned something about the third fight in the heavyweight division, but that's only because he's the WBO mandatory moving up from the cruiserweight division. So that's probably the only reason he got it, because based on his performances in the 2 fights that he has been at the heavyweight division, I don't think he would have merited a shot at any champion.
All right, so just real
You
quick,
don't think
right
so?
there,
Not with the way he fought Chisora, and not with the way.
But
he
you're
fought,
fighting a much better boxer at the second fight in your heavyweight. So you got to give credit to
I think
Chisora.
no, and
people think
this is what's leading to my point, though, is that why I feel it's kind of a bit of a mismatch. I think Anthony Joshua, he's a full blown heavyweight. Usyk had to move up to the heavyweight division. I think Joshua's just. You know how what they say in boxing, the bigger skilled guy will always beat the smaller skilled guy, and I think Joshua's just a little too big for him, man. He's what, 6'6"?
He is, and he's
muscular.
definitely
He's been at the heavyweight division. He's fought. He's took some punches for some.
But wasn't he the biggest guy against Andy Ruiz? And I think Andy Ruiz and Usyk are the same height. They're just the difference is that Ruiz.
No, Ruiz is
I
actually
think-
shorter.
And actually, he's shorter, but I think Ruiz probably carries a little more pop than Usyk.
He does.
Probably not a little bit, maybe
But
a little
isn't there
more.
a blueprint already on how you can beat Joshua the same way that because they almost have the similar style of boxing?
And no, that's a fair point. And then I think there was a little more that goes into that Anthony Joshua and the Ruiz fight, especially considering Joshua's training habits, the way he looked in the first fight compared to the way he looked in the second fight, where he leaned out, lost a lot of that muscle. I think he learned that he boxed in the second fight. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know what he did in his personal life, but I'm just in the physique from the first fight compared to the second fight. He looked leaned out, toned out. He worked the ring, and Ruiz was fat. So and that's why I keep Usyk. If Usyk had gone up there and just destroyed Witherspoon, I mean, he got the knockout in the 7th round, but if you watch the fight, it was less than. And then with the Chisora, every punch that he blocked, even the punches that he blocked from Chisora, were throwing him to the ropes. I mean, even the ones that he blocked, I was like, wow. And then I was like, man, the Chisora's big for this guy. So imagine what Joshua's gonna do to him. I think Joshua's gonna walk him down pretty early, man.
I don't know, man.
Usyk, I don't think, and we all go back to the power that Usyk.
Youth.
I don't think Usyk's gonna have enough.
So it's interesting.
Power's not everything.
Power's
not everything, but it is enough to keep your opponent honest.
The great equalizer.
But when you're
we said
technical,
before.
when you understand your opponent, you understand the ring, you understand the deficiencies right now, you got a taller boxer, you got to work him in a different way. He's getting prepared for this. Wouldn't you think that he's going to prepare himself to fight Anthony Joshua?
No,
he's getting a big opportunity.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
Debating
and there's
everything.
youth on
and
top of that.
Usyk's not a young guy. He's 34.
Well, he's 34,
years old.
but still,
Joshua's 31.
Yeah, but he's still in his prime. He's still.
I would say he's probably
I
out
think maybe
of his
just
prime.
slide down out of his prime.
Josh was in his prime. I think Josh was probably like in the last year or two of his prime.
I think he's got to show me
so
more.
So let's just for those that are following at home to make sure that we're on the same page.
All right.
So the actual debate is we're on the same page. It's a good fight.
Yeah, we want to boxing.
Yeah, we want
boxing.
We want boxing.
Is it the right
matchup
at the time we wanted because we knew it was going to be Joshua and Fury? That's a big disappointment. That's why people are probably, and that's your guys' statement. I get it.
Yeah, so
major
it seems like to me, and I just correct me if I'm wrong. It seems to be a difference in the weight distribution as far as the opponents. Because I'm taking from your perspective, Manny, that you see it more of a 50-50 or a 45-55, and then Hopper, you're what, more 70-30? Is that fair?
I would actually even probably go a little high, 75-25. 80-20.
That low?
Yeah,
Come on,
I mean,
what kind of respect do you give to undisputed?
No, it's just that I'm giving more respect to Anthony Joshua compared to somebody that struggled. It's just that Usyk's performances in the heavyweight division have done nothing to convince me he can compete with the champions. I think Tyson Fury would demolish him.
Just 2 fights that defines your thoughts about that? And honestly, a Witherspoon fight, that was not bad. Honestly, you're talking about more of the Chisora one.
It wasn't.
Remember,
he wasn't anything.
He was also a replacement too, brother.
Late replacement.
He was a late replacement, and also too. Let's keep it.
And he's a setup opponent. He was made to look good, and he got the knockout, but it was.
No, let's keep it 100, as they say. Is
I'm sorry.
We mentioned this before, and it's not pissing on Usyk. He's been at heavyweight since 2018. Granted, the pandemic. It's 2021.
Right. People still fought during the pandemic, though.
Right. So he's had opportunities, but he's been injured a lot. Right. So going kind of towards the the line of what Hopper was saying, that he's more on the decline than on the incline. No. Here's the thing. Like, it's not saying it's not a good fight. I'm just saying, for me, I'll put it out there, I'm not as excited. And I know that Eddie Hearn's going to do his thing. It's going to be
hype it up.
Super. I mean, it already sold out in one day.
Well, that's because the British fans or the UK fans are. Shout out to you guys. UK fans are amazing.
No, but think about it.
They do it. They know how to do it.
The guy they are going for and that they love is
Anthony Joshua. He's the face of boxing on that side of the Atlantic.
Unified.
On that side of the world.
Unified champion.
Canelo's the face in the world.
All right, so let's kind of go through the list. All right, so
well, I mean, talking about Canelo, honestly. So you probably are seeing this fight like Canelo, Yildirim, and now Joshua and Usyk. Is that?
No, I don't. No,
I mean, not like that. No.
So
I'll put a little more respect on Usyk than
there you
comparisons
go.
to.
All right, so make me feel better in that one.
No.
Let's go ahead and go real quick, and then we'll go ahead and go to predictions. So, Manny, you first. I would like to know, as far as your understanding, as far as taking the resume out of it, because we've been talking about resume a lot. Like, so take the resume out of it. What do you see out of Usyk that can create problems for an Anthony Joshua, honestly, that has you excited for this fight? And, maybe get us hyped, because, we're missing what you see.
I'm waiting for that aha moment from Usyk at the heavyweight. I agree with you in that. It isn't a big splash, the same thing he did at the cruiserweights. I'm waiting for that wow moment. And is it going to happen with Joshua? That's a big, tough fight. And that's why I'm so hyped about it, because I want to be able to see that. But I also want Joshua to continue to I want Joshua to prove me wrong. I want Joshua to make a statement and say, listen, I beat these guys, right? So you're talking about, is Usyk going to be one of those little steps in his resume? I don't. If Joshua convincingly, beats Usyk, I think that this is like the wow moment for Joshua, saying like, hey, I can beat anyone. Yeah, it's a little bit less.
By beating Usyk?
By beating Usyk. It's a good boxer.
You love Usyk. Huh?
I don't.
No, I said you love Usyk.
No, I don't love you.
You got a man crush? Oh, because he's Lomachenko's buddy, right?
Oh, the same country.
That's
wait, is that a Ukraine flag? No, support.
But if you think about it, if you ask me, I want Usyk to win.
All right, so again, we said, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we're here.
Nothing wrong with that
to talk
at all,
boxing.
buddy.
Now,
we all have our
straight
favorites.
up and down. Don't worry about what Hopper's doing right now.
Okay.
Just me and you right now. Spider.
Me and you.
Who's the better boxer out the two? Just straight up. Don't look at Hopper. Who's the better boxer?
Mírame los ojos, verás lo que soy.
Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua.
So if he's the better boxer and he's bigger and he has more power,
I'm just not into the huge hype about Anthony Joshua yet.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's okay.
That's it.
That's fine.
Let's take a step back. You believe Anthony Joshua is the better boxer. We all agree he's bigger.
If takes things serious.
Oh,
he didn't do it in Andy Ruiz one fight.
Oh, so you're saying mentally. So that's
not mentally. I mean, I
between the ears.
I don't say mentally, but I think that, that first fight, Anthony just went, last minute fighter. He went sightseeing. He went Calvin Klein, walking the runways, being a little pretty boy in New York. He didn't really take things serious. And then on the second fight, we all saw a different Anthony Joshua. I want to see a bigger and better Anthony Joshua right now.
Okay, so I think, actually, by you saying that, what I'm taking from that is you're thinking that they both are going to seize the moment. We're going to see the best out of both of them?
Absolutely. And on top of that, if he's able to, crush Usyk, like people are talking about.
Like Hopper's talking about. I will have a much different view coming into Fury fight. Really?
Because right now for me, Joshua can't beat Fury.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's a different fight, but that's
different fight. But honestly, when you're fighting against a smaller boxer, very technical, very good, great IQ, still young, still not completely in his prime, but still has a lot to give to the sport,
34.
like Usyk does, it's still.
Okay. So what's your prediction?
September 25th, what happens? We'll be at your house drinking.
We'll be at my house. I want to continue to be the odd man here, and I'm gonna go for the underdog. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Just to go against everyone in this table.
No, wait. You're going against everyone in the world.
In the world, that's
first
fine.
round
that's
knockout.
Fine. Let me just continue on and say I'm rooting for Usyk.
Viva la Ukraine.
Viva la Ukraine. Viva
Lomachenko.
No, Usyk.
No, you got to watch Manny. He's real slick. So not rooting. Who's going to win, Manny?
Oh, caught him. Because then he can go back and say, I was rooting for him.
I'm a fan.
I didn't say anything.
I want him to win, but Anthony Joshua's the better boxer.
What's the prediction?
You know, the problem is that this is
You're
gonna be a
circling
knockout.
around the question.
Getting his phone.
What's your prediction? You know what? I'm actually gonna go Usyk, and I'm gonna go Usyk, and I'm gonna say, I'm actually gonna say
He's gonna knock him out.
8-round knockout for Usyk.
Whoa!
Hear it now, 8-round knockout for Usyk.
Wow!
I'm saying it.
I wasn't ready.
Say it
for
with
that.
your chest, bro.
I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't ready either.
No one is.
Holy moly!
How can you follow that?
Well,
We know who has the big balls at the table, and it's not me.
Vivo! Right over here. Wow, that's
That's the biggest balls ever.
8-round knockout.
crotch first, walking.
Don't come back to me and say,
So,
"Whoa,
your pants
all
on?
right, so real quick, 'cause before Hopper gets his prediction, based on what you're saying, you think that the mental fortitude, you're leaning towards Usyk, right?
There's a
Because-
blueprint on that, and I think there's some power in
So
Usyk.
blueprint-
And I think if Usyk kind of continues to see how the previous fights and start tackling in the weaknesses of AJ, I think there could be a possibility that he can. I mean, AJ, when he gets hit hard on the side of the head, he's not the same person, and that we proved that with Andy Ruiz. It's not the same power, but that could definitely happen. And by the way, if Usyk continues to put pressure on them, it's going to be very difficult for AJ to keep him into the distance. That's where AJ is very strong. Getting that jab, 1-2 combinations, right-handed. If he's very close to him and pinning in the ropes, that's going to be very difficult. I don't know. I just think that right now for me, I want to believe that Usyk hype coming into the heavyweights rather than. And I'm not an AJ hater. Don't think about that. fans. I am not.
I would be hard for me to
I
notice.
enjoy him fighting. I just don't know. I think he's mentally weak at times. At times.
That's
Is
what
that
I'm
going to be
looking
one
for.
of those odd nights for him? Is that the night that things are going to get in his brain and all of a sudden we see Andy Ruiz, AJ won? You know, I'm not predicting that, but I'm predicting it. That could happen.
Here it is. Look, check it out.
Bring it.
In that Anthony Joshua Andy Ruiz fight.
Wow, I'm sweating over here.
That punch you're talking about, that was a very.
what?
I'm not gonna call it lucky, but it was a very
Punch from the gods.
a punch
Anthony
that just
Joshua called it.
It just happened. Yeah, it just one of those punches. And
Oh, one of those punches. So
it snapped. No, wait. If you look at the replay, if you look at the punches,
I've
if you look at the
seen
replay, it does something to his neck, and I put a lot of more of this on the corner that fell to ice his neck in the ring. I'm not making excuses for Joshua. I'm just calling it how I see it. I'm not a huge Joshua fan myself. But in order for Usyk to land that punch, he's gonna have to do what Andy Ruiz did, was be in the trenches. He's not that kind of fighter. He's not a fighter that stays in the telephone booth to land that significant punch. Andy Ruiz, he just threw everything, caution to the wind, and said, F it. If I'm getting knocked out, I'm getting knocked out. Usyk,
All right, so same question to you, brother. Like, kind of going through the intangibles. We know, obviously, the measurables, who's bigger.
Right.
Who's the better boxer?
Oh, Joshua.
Really? So no hesitation by you at all?
Not at all. Joshua's a...
No, but what about...
Wait, in the heavyweight division?
No,
Joshua. Just in general? Now I got to think about it. I think I would probably still give it to Joshua. Even though Usyk is a fantastic technical, but this the power... I'll give the power edge to Joshua by a lot. Everything else is pretty much even. Speed, footwork, defense.
Now, what about what our brother said about the intangible of the mental fortitude?
I don't. I actually give Joshua a lot more props for having mental fortitude. He took his loss to Andy Ruiz like a man. Didn't make 100 excuses like our American Deontay Wilder. Made so many excuses. No, Joshua took his loss like a man.
Definitely.
Went to the gym, regrouped, came out,
reformed his body,
and did what he had to do.
Yeah,
he won the fight. So I give him because it takes.
And
it takes a certain
it was
mindset.
moments of difficulty where he was like kind of struggling to get this thing together, and he got into the rhythm. And I think that's the mental aspect that I'm talking about. And don't forget about that. The first 9 fights of Usyk, they all were knockouts. So there's some kind of power there.
The first 9 fights.
Yeah.
Oh, when he was fighting like taxi cab drivers.
Well, I mean, he was still fighting. He was fine. He fought.
No, but
his
Anthony Joshua,
his 5th fight was for the WBO.
It takes a great mindset to take a loss that bad when you're on top of the world.
Oh yeah,
right.
And to have everything taken underneath you, the rug pulled out from you, as they say, and come back and reinvent yourself.
So
Man, that takes metal.
So when he is too comfortable, I think that's where there's an issue in Joshua. I think when he's more into the pressure, like I have to perform.
We're about to get some death threats.
I think that that's where he's at his best. And right now, I don't see him.
I'm thinking
I don't see his urgency to say I need to really perform. Oh, I lost the Fury fight for the moment, and I got Usyk.
Anthony Joshua, 10th round knockout, but it might be sooner, man. Usyk, yeah, he's gonna try to keep him off of him boxing. I think Joshua's he's way better than Chisora. With the power is pretty much in the same ballpark. I don't see this going too well for Usyk. Anthony Joshua, 10th round knockout, but it might come a lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good prediction, man. Definitely. So yeah, for me, just real quick on that, I am looking forward to the fight. I see it more as a 70-30 fight for me going towards Joshua. Joshua has all the intangibles. As far as the measurables, I do feel he's a better boxer. He's the better true heavyweight, which I think that we got to talk about that. He's been a heavyweight.
Definitely.
Now, there is something there that, to Manny's point, I do agree with. Like, there's what Anthony Joshua is going to show up. So if there's something in between the ears,
that's
far as like,
question. That's why I got to question it. And I know a guy that always going to show up. And when you are the underdog and you are the guy that needs to prove, and you're not the champion, you're the challenger. That's why I'm coming in right now. If the mental state is not where it needs to be, we're going to see a different Usyk.
Yeah, I mean, and that's always a possibility. Is Oleksandr Usyk talented? Absolutely, but I'm not even convinced not just for this fight. I'm not sure he's a heavyweight. And and to me, that's kind of the deeper question. Does he have enough ability to beat a lot of heavyweights? Absolutely, but I don't think Anthony Joshua is the one when he's on his game. So I'm predicting 8th round stoppage through a combination of punches, and I think that Usyk will have his moments. But because what we saw when he goes against other heavyweights, he just has a problem. First of all, he takes a lot more punches. That was the thing. Like, we talked about how slick he is and in and out.
Yeah, but Chisora doesn't have the same power as Asia does. So he's going to.
I think it's comparable.
Not a whole lot. I mean, it didn't really. He took some punches.
Oh, he
took a lot.
Even when he blocked those punches.
Yeah, exactly. He took a lot. But did you see how strong he was still standing? And he was still throwing punches.
I mean, that's probably why he's been getting hurt, though.
That's
those
why
punches.
I just have my doubt for Usyk as a heavyweight is a lot more than the doubt I have for the mental fortitude for Anthony Joshua. So for that's why I lean that way.
And for what it's worth,
that's a good assessment.
Gringo, for what it's worth, the betting odds, FanDuel currently sits Joshua as a -280 favorite, meaning you have to bet $280 to win 100.
All right. So, no, that's awesome. You definitely got to put that in there.
Yeah.
No. So one thing I do want to just before we close this out. Now, why do you think, for whatever reason, obviously Eddie Hearn, we got a lot of respect for him, top promoter. He's always thinking, he's playing,
number one promoter.
He's playing chess while others playing checkers.
Why everybody else is playing keep away.
Why do you think he wanted to avoid this fight then?
Because he wants the Fury fight. It's a mega money for him.
More money.
That's simple.
He didn't want to mess up the
And I tell you
simple.
what, if Anthony Joshua beats,
because
Usyk, it's going to be a good. People are not going to talk about that was a Yildirim Canelo thing. Usyk is a lot better opponent than anyone else that is out there.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to bring attention, money, and fans. People are excited to see this.
Well,
to be honest,
Joshua,
because of
anybody that Joshua
built.
fights, the
right?
UK fans are going to show
but
up.
also, I mean, I'd rather him fight him than fight Chisora. AJ's never fought Chisora. That could have been a fight. Well, it's not happening. Fury, let's bring Chisora. That's when you're going to see people upset and pissed off.
No, I mean, and that's fair too. I guess the last thing, just kind of to you guys, is this the best fight that can be made out of what's currently the state of the heavyweight division? Outside of Wilder Fury.
Wilder Fury. No, I think that Wilder Ruiz, I would love to see that. It'd be interesting. What other fights?
Okay, so
up there?
Do you prefer to see
Joshua
and White?
Fury?
Dylan White? Is that something?
He already beat him.
Rematch again? Is that something you want, or you want Usyk? Or you want actually
White versus Ortiz?
Or
that
you
would be
want
an intriguing fight.
Or you want probably
White versus Andy Ruiz,
the number one IBF contender, Charles Martin? Is that something that you prefer
he already
to see?
knocked him out. Joshua already knocked him out.
Who do you have a higher opinion of, Manny? Dylan White or Usyk as a heavyweight?
I mean, Dylan White has been in the heavyweights, so you can't compare the time that you've spent in the heavyweights and what you've accomplished at the heavyweights. So you got to respect that. But at the same time, you know, your odds are completely against you when you're moving up. You come from this environment of the cruiserweights. You are the undisputed. You move to a different beast animal in the heavyweights, and you're still swimming and battling in the ocean. And I'd like to see that. I want to see, you know, in other words, would I spend the rest of my life thinking, man, Usyk never got to fight a good champion at the heavyweight. We remember him at the cruiserweight. Are we going to remember him as a heavyweight? I don't know. This is the fight that could possibly be a difference maker and say, wow, what someone was able to accomplish at the cruiserweight and doing it at the heavyweight, only on the third fight, that is huge. For me, that's why I love this fight. I may not be so hyped up and say, yeah, I like Usyk. I'm rooting for Usyk. I'm going against you guys. I have no problem with that. I'll take the hit.
Hater.
I'll take a hit if even he gets knocked down in the first round. I'll take the hit.
What do you have against Brits, bro?
I don't.
Why do you hate the Brits?
I don't.
Wow, Manny.
So why is it about the Brits then only about an individual? Not here. It's not about the Brits. Love my Brit family. I really do. But it's about, honestly, all this hype build up in Anthony Joshua that I just don't think he's like the wow moment of what the heavyweights need. I actually prefer to be root more for Tyson Fury than even AJ.
Oh, so you do like the Brits?
I do. Don't you like Campbell? I love Campbell. Sadly enough, he's retired. Oh, about time. But I like it. I mean,
wow.
Amir Khan. Come on.
Subtle shots at me.
We love Amir Khan, too. You know, Nassim Hamed. Didn't we love him?
Oh, man. Looks like he ate Nassim Hamed right now lately. But no, yeah. I can dig it. I love the Anthony Joshua Usyk talk. We'll be at your house for this fight. I know you're going to throw a massive Usyk party. You're going to have your Ukraine flag out.
I got the flag, though.
Even though we're just busting your balls, I like the perspective because there's something you mentioned that I hadn't heard someone mention before. Also, you guys were saying that you thought AJ was the better boxer.
He is. I have no questions.
I agree with that, too.
I'm not dumb and idiot. I mean, I see fights. But
So we'll see how it ends up, man. I mean, that's the thing. So episode 92.
Out of here.
Adiós.
Fuera. En vivo.